everybody, hello. I'm back with my October stroke Halloween journal. We did some of it yesterday on the live. It's a 2 signature journal for those of you that haven't been keeping up. All the journaling cards and everything are backed onto black, and I will sell it with a Jelly Roll pen in white so you can write on it. So it's just a little bit of a difference, but I like the fact that it's black. I think it would sort of take something away if it was cream or white. This is the page we did yesterday in the live. I think it looks great, I really like it. And then on the back of that we've got this Scully, and in there we've got a big pocket and a journaling card. Also backed on black, for the same reason as before. That goes in there. It does go in there. Get in. That's it. Yeah, so we also did that. And this morning all I've done really is make a big pocket for this page with a crow, which I've embossed, and put that lace, you know, the lace paper that we had here. I'll put that along the top there. So I've now got this giant pocket and nothing to put in it. So it was at that stage that I thought, oh, I know, I need to make some tags and journaling cards, etc. So I needed some background. So that is where we're at. That's the state of play today. So I made these. I was just trialing them, see if they worked. And they're really nice. For some of the pages, they will be perfect. You know, for the likes of that page, I mean, they're just great. That page, you know, that would go in there really quite nicely and fit in with the background and everything. In fact, it looks better than that one, so I might leave that there. I also, at some stage, want to do some in this colourway. This is the Artie Maze kit, and I want to do some in that, which is going to be more browns and ochres with a bit of black as well, but you know, also that bright red. But for the meantime, this is what we're doing. Now, it's a bit of a cheat because you've seen me do this technique before, but we ended up with very different results the last time. And I just want to quickly go over how I achieved this. And you then might want to use the same technique, but turn it into reds and greens for Christmas or whatever. You know, you'll be familiar with the technique, so you can turn it into whatever you want. So let's get going. I have made, I've made 2 big collage sheets. This one we're not going to use today. I'm going to save that for the ochre coloured ones. And this is what's left of the page that I made these out of. I just wanted to make sure it worked, because I'd look a real Charlie, wouldn't I, if it didn't work. So I used not my distress inks, but I used StazOn and VersaFine Clair for this, because the last time when I did it, when I put the gesso on, the colours moved. And it's not so bad if you're using black. You can't see that the colours have moved, but I just wanted to test it with a permanent inks and kind of see what happened, really, I guess. So somewhere I have a brush. I'm just randomly going to put, now, you know, you might not have seen the last time I did this technique, but it really is random. And don't worry about brush marks and stuff that you're left with. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you will never see them. This is quite interesting, actually, because I stuck this on with glue stick, and you can see where the glue stick's been on the top. It's resisting the ink, which is a really nice, unexpected happening. So this is the VersaFine Clair Morning Mist, and it's as you can see, it's a grey colour. It's a bit lighter than that, actually. It's just that I had black on my brush. So I've oh yeah, there's a word for it. contaminated, that's the word. Look at the marks we get with the glue. It's fabulous. So I'm just starting off with the grey because it's the easiest, isn't it? It's not so much of a statement as the red or the black. I love these marks. Probably won't see any of them when it's finished. So now I'm going to move on to the dark one. This is the StazOn Black Cherry. And I've only got one brush for black and grey and one brush for the two reds, so there will be a bit of contamination. That's just the way it is. So there we are. Look at that. That is so much more vibrant than the Distress. I mean, Distress has its place, don't get me wrong. Huge fan of Distress products. But I thought for this it would be probably a little bit better to do it with a permanent inks. So there's no rhyme, no reason, it's just wherever I fancy doing it, really. I've no idea where I'm going to cut these. I've got no preconceived idea of, oh, I wanted that there and that there. I haven't got a clue what's going where. This has perhaps got a bit more red on than the other ones. Doesn't matter, that's fine. Right, that's probably enough of that. Then, shall I do the black? Yeah, I'll do the black next. So this is a VersaFine Clair Nocturne, and it's a lovely, look at that, it's a gorgeous black colour. Really black. And all I've used to collage, I've used book pages for my base, and then I've just torn up book pages to stick on, because it's not about what they are, it's about the corners, it's about the edges, all about the edges. So it doesn't matter what I've used. And I use the book page as a base because it's thinner than card. It was a tip I got from Artie Mays, and it's a jolly good one. You know, because usually you're building on thick scrapbook paper or whatever, and by the time you get your collage pieces on, it's really thick and you can't do much with it. It's too thick. So putting it on book page is a genius idea. That woman is genius. So I'm just going round, filling gaps in, but still leaving some gaps because I've got this other red to go. So it's a nice thing to do. You don't have to be in a rush. You don't even have to be thinking about it. To be honest, I'm not thinking about it. I'm just doing. Right, so that's some black. Does it look okay? Might just put a little bit down here. Anywhere where there's sort of gaps of black. Possibly there. It's really handy actually when I'm filming on my own, because I can look up and the screen is right in front of me, and sometimes you get a better idea of what things look like by looking at it on the screen. Sometimes when I'm working I take photographs of things and they do look different. So this is a more reddy red. It's still got a lot of that cherry red on the brush, but that's okay, it doesn't matter. It's just to add depth. So we've got a grey and a black, and then we've got the very dark cherry red, and then we've got this one. So anywhere where there looks like there's a real gap, I'm just going in with this red. That's about it, I think. We're about there, about covered. That'll do me at any rate. So let's clear a little bit of space here. and I just use a cellophane bag for a sort of palette. You could use anything. You could use just the media mat, you know, that's what it's intended for. But I just find using a cellophane bag is convenient. At the end of it, I just pick it up, take it to the sink and wash it. So this is black gesso. It's a PBO product, but any black gesso will do, but don't worry if you haven't got black gesso. Use black acrylic paint, you get a very similar result. Usually people use gesso as a base to build on top of. Well, I'm not going to be building on top of this. This is the final coat. So black acrylic paint would have done equally as well, really. But I have gesso, so I'll use it, and I'm just going to put some out across the top there. Let's see if I can move myself this way a bit so you can see. Come along. There we go, and I've got my brayer. So I'm just going to take some of this, and to load your brayer, keep lifting it off. Don't keep rolling it like that or you'll roll all the paint off. So to load it, you just go back and forwards like that, and then onto your work. Wow, it's sensational, isn't it? I really love this. I think I said the last time I did this, I learned how to do this from a YouTube family, actually they are, called Witchcraft Do You Do? And they were doing a really pretty one, but it just dawned on me that I could actually change it up. And because the brayer is very, very flat, it picks up all the high points. So the high points are the bits that have overlapped on your collage. So it's the edges of your paper. And it's amazing how it does leave some on the other bits, but mostly it's on the edges of the paper. So you get that lovely, it's almost geometric actually. And then I'm going to turn it 90 degrees and we're going to go the other way. So I just think it looks great. I love it. It's perfect for what we want. There we go. That's it. You could go on if you wanted to, but I think that's absolutely ample sufficiency. So it's up to you whether you want to wash your bag or just sling it in the bin. Temptation, I must be honest, is to sling it in the bin. So there we have it. I'm just going to dry that off and then I'll come back to you and we'll cut it into some meaningful shapes for us to use. So one sec. So there we go, that's it, it's dried, looks lovely, I love it. You could, if you wanted to at this stage, put some matte medium over it. I'm not going to because this feels pretty solid to me. I don't think anything's going to happen to it. So I'm going to cut it up into some sort of shapes of some sort. What does it measure? I don't know where my Timmy ruler's gone again. Is that it? Might be located. Yes, I've located it. Excellent. So it measures 10 1/4 by 9. Right. So if I cut it off at 6, I would have 3 inches left there, so I'd get a tag. And that measures, what did I say? 10 1/4. So I could get 3 1/2, 3 1/2, and 3 1/4. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to cut that off at 6. And bearing in mind it's very likely not square. Get that in there? No, that doesn't want to go in there. Let's get the Jolly Green Giant out. So I want to cut that off at 6 inches. Okay, so that's there. Actually, it might be easier to cut off 3 inches. Let me measure this again. 9, yeah. So it's 6 and 3. So I'm going to cut 3 inches off. And that way then I can follow this grid up here. I'm not saying that side's straight, but it looks a bit straighter than the other. So there we are, we've got that. Let's just straighten that edge up there. Put it onto 3 inches. I think I'm going to have to make it just a smidge under 3, just to get it straight. There we are, that's lovely. Just straighten the edges, ends off. And this one. Lovely, so that now measures just a hint over 10. So let's cut that off at 5, and then we've got 2 smaller ones for going into. Sometimes I make diagonal pockets and that sort of thing. So there's a couple that will do for that. Then these, let's see if I can get that edge straight. Probably going to have to start with that edge. Going to start with some edge somewhere. Let's try this one. Right, let's say that's straight then. So we can put that there and straighten this one up. I think that's okay there. Let's try this end. It just leaves us with this one. Everything then should be straight. Should be. There we go. Right, so that should be straight. Let's just check again what we're left with. Just over 10. So 3 1/4 is what I want to cut off. 3 1/4. Follow the line on your grid, on your measuring, whatever you're using to trim. So if I cut that at 3 1/4, yeah, that's all right, I think. And that leaves me with 3 and almost 3/4, just a little over 3 1/2. So we've got ourselves some tags. So let's have a look and see what we've got. Oh, we've got all of these just from that little piece. That's brilliant. That's good. I might make that into a journaling card because it's more sort of squarer, isn't it? So I'll just, let's see if I can do battle with the bin and get some card that I want. I don't think it's in there. Yeah, it's in here. I sent off for some an assorted box of remnants from a paper mill that's quite local to us, and they sent the box and there was dozens of these in it. I've no idea what they've used them for, and I couldn't think what to use them for either. And then I thought, they're perfect for backing tags. They're quite sturdy and they've got that sort of mottledy pattern on, which is quite nice really. So I'll save all those because you've seen the tags, and I'll use this one to stick onto there. This book that I'm using has done very good service, I must say. I've made all sorts of things out of it. I need to get Mr. F on the lookout for another one before it runs out. It's Elm Creek, if you've heard of that. It's all nice, gentle quilting stories. Well, I say that, I've never read one. It could be a bodice ripper for all I know. I just don't associate bodice rippers with quilting, but, you know, that's quite shallow-minded of me, really. Right, so I've just put that right onto the corner of there. It looks like it's square, which is good. And just go around that. Make sure there's no loose glue or anything. There we go. Let's cut that out. I think these are lovely. I really, really like them. They're so perfect for what we want. Hang on to that, you never know. There we are. Now I'm going to try and round the corners. It might still all be a bit too wet at the moment, but I'll give it a try. I'm just going to use the 1/4 inch side. I don't like too roundy. Oh, no, it's doing its job. Well done. There we are. And you can see there's just, I'm not even sure what that is. It's a bit of roughness, I think, in the card that I've used underneath. So I'm just going to trim that off, and then I'm going to put my finger dauber on and get the black out and just go round it. Just to cover that edge, the cream edge up, because I don't really want to see that. There we go. So we'll sew round them with black, and then have I got any? Let me bring this in so you can see it a bit more clearly. It's hard to make out when it's on the black media mat. Right, so that's that one. It's all done around. These are the other ones that we did. I can't believe we got so many out of that. So that's those. These are the ones I did before. That one, and that one. So that's plenty enough of that style of tag for this journal. You know, otherwise they start looking like you've just batch bought a load of them. But we'll decorate them all up. I made a little cluster before to go on one of them. It might go quite nicely on there, actually. Yeah, I mean, that looks, I really like that. Looks really nice. That was just a flower, and I used the 2 inks that we're using with a little red bit of bling in the middle. I'll stamp that out, Something Wicked This Way Comes, but I've just left the Something Wicked. Then I put a bit of black lace and a bit of that lace that I got from the scrap store just on there, and I think they're perfect colours, and I think it looks great on there. But I'm not going to stick it on until I kind of know where it's going, really. But yeah, that was the scrap of lace that I got, and I'm really going to make it work for its keep, I can tell you. Just little bits like that at a time. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I thought we had 2 smaller ones. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, I don't think that's a bad yield, really. So in the interim, I'll do this one, the other one in the ochre colours, and then tomorrow we'll make clusters, so we're ready to decorate them, you know, when we need to. And then we'll think about other backgrounds and other tags and that sort of thing, because I need a big one to go in here. but I need it to be in these colours, these yellowy, but dark, but yellow. Well, okay. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you give it a try in whatever colours you choose for your project. It could be really Christmassy in reds and greens. It could be really wintry in blues and whites. You know, whatever you decide, I'm sure it'll be great. I just think that they're easy to make and they're really handy to have. So thanks for joining me. See you soon. Bye.